Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another live stream. Today I'm not going to be on camera because I've had a long day and I am not camera ready. So we're just going to be doing my hands on screen, and we're going to play with my new release, specifically the Thankful Leaves bundle. So the stamps, dies, and stencils. Don't know that we're going to get to the dies today, but definitely the stamps and the stencils. And I thought I would also use the Sarah Renae Clark Color Cube. Haven't broken mine out in quite some time. And I was doing a Zoom call with some of my members here at YouTube on Friday night, and someone brought up the Color Cube, and I thought, oh, I should really use that. So tonight we're going to use the Color Cube. Some of you might not be familiar with the Color Cube or what you can do with it. So I'm going to really briefly describe it and show what it is, and then we will get into the actual card for tonight. In fact, for those of you who are watching live, you're going to get to vote on a couple of different options, or two different polls I'm going to have tonight that will determine how I make my card. Hello to everyone over there in the chat. I'm so excited you're here. I see so many familiar faces. I'm glad you're ready to go and get crafting. So the Color Cube from Sarah Renae Clark is kind of like a color inspiration sort of tool. So inside the box, I believe there's 250, is that right? 250 color combination ideas. And they're really fun. You can just pull a card out, and there's even like color names on the back, just to give yourself an idea of what types of colors you could combine for your different projects. The Color Cube is actually part of a whole suite of products over at sarahrenaeclark.com. She also has the Color Catalog, which is a digital PDF that you can download that has the same color combos. However, with the digital file, you can use keywords like autumn for today. Like today, I used the digital version of this and looked at all of the combinations that had the keyword autumn. And then I picked 3 from the many that were provided. So I like to use both products, and there's a bundle where you can just buy like both color cubes and all of the PDFs and everything. There's quite a bit you can do. Hold on, I'm going to turn down my mic just a little bit. There we go. So there's quite a bit that you can do. And I like to use the digital version when I'm looking for specific keywords. And then I get the color combo number, and then I'll come to my Color Cube and pull out the card to use with all of my crafting, because the little cube here is a little bit easier to handle versus that digital one. And I actually printed out the digital version, so I have a printed version as well. But when I'm just searching for different keywords, I go straight to the digital version on my computer or even on my phone, and click through and find those different keywords. So I picked out 3 different color combos today, potential color combos today, that I'm going to have all of you who are watching live choose from. So just so you know, we're going to be using the Thankful Leaves bundle. So keep that in mind, so I picked out some very autumn color palettes. So before, just let me fell downstairs. Cats are going crazy. Before I show you the color combos, don't put a number in the chat. Don't say what you're voting for. I'm going to show all 3 combos, and then I'll put the poll up, and you can choose which one you like. And if we don't have a clear winner, I will narrow it down to 2 and have you vote one more time. So here's the first one, 124. Then we have, 35. I'm dropping them. Then we have 35. And then we have 140. I think they all have a little bit of a different look to them. So kind of think in your head, we're doing all of those autumn leaves. I think the leaves would be great for all of these. So over in the chat, I've got a poll up. Which Color Cube card should I use? 124, which is kind of like purples and reds. 135, which has some really dusty kind of pumpkin colors, plus a nice kind of stormy blue. or 140, which has a little bit of a brighter color palette. We've got kind of like a acid yellow and a pale pink and kind of like an orchid shade. So still autumn, but kind of a different vibe. So let me know, which one of these would you prefer me to use? Let me look over here in the chat and see what's winning so far. It's all pretty even at the moment. I'm not really sure what everyone's going for tonight. I'm going to keep this poll up for just a little bit longer, and then we will move on to my second poll. Let's see here. Oh gosh, there's two. 124 and 140 are kind of neck and neck right now. So let's just go ahead and do another one of between those two. So 124 and 140, because they're kind of neck and neck. So let's do another poll. 124 and 140. Okay. All right, so now we're going to narrow it down between 124 and 140. So now we're going to narrow it down between those two. So hopefully it will not be as close this time. We'll see. If not, I guess I'll just have to do, like, I'll be the tiebreaker vote. It's still kind of close. Okay, all right, 124 is pulling ahead. You guys are loving those kind of moody vibes. I do love that photo. I think it's really great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Oh, they're so kind of, it's 56%, 57%, and 43%. But I kind of think that 124 is pulling ahead. So I'm going to end the poll with 124. And we're going to go with this one. So this is our color palette for tonight. I'm going to just put these two back in the color cube. I like to keep them in order so it's easy to find when it comes to, you know, when I go to use them again. Okay, I just got to 134. So let's put 135 back in. Thankfully, kind of the autumn shades are all kind of around the same section of the color cube, so it kind of helps. Okay, so now we're going to make another decision on what type of card I'm making. I was thinking I've got 3 different options. And let me paste these into a poll. I had to like, oh no, I don't want a Q&A. I want a poll. Card direction. Helps if I spell things right. Okay, so the first option is I will use some dye inks on white cardstock. I'll just use my C9 inks. The second option is oxide inks on a dark surface, whatever that's going to be. And then the third option is metallic paints, or like Mayuli watercolors on dark paper. So let me know what direction you want me to take on this card. Depending on what direction you send me in will determine exactly what I make. So yeah, so put your opinions in, what you think I should do, and then we'll go from that direction. Now, just to know that because I don't know what direction I'm going, I'm going to take a minute to pick out colors and inks and all that, just to make sure it kind of matches. But yeah. Andrea, I'm coming up with hard choices tonight. Yeah, a little bit. Because you can, you really do all of them. Okay, right now it kind of looks like oxide inks on dark cardstock is kind of coming in hot. We'll see how this goes. Carrie's asking about a less expensive option for metallic watercolors. I would recommend Probably the Kuretake Zig Starry colors. They've got quite a few different sets. Okay, I think we're going to go with Oxide inks on dark cardstock. So let's see how this goes. I think because this has basically a black right here, I'm going to go with black cardstock. So let me cut out some black. I actually have a half sheet of Hero Arts Pitch Black right here. I'm going to cut it down to 5x7. I'm kind of going to recreate one of the cards that I shared with the release with my sneak peeks, since this is the one that we've chosen. So I have my black cardstock. So now I just need to get these inks as close as I can in oxides. So I'm going to steal my little card here and come and get some oxide inks. I'm thinking, oh gosh, actually no, I'll leave this on screen here so you guys can see while I talk this through. I'm kind of thinking, well, ripe persimmon and, ooh, carved pumpkin maybe? No, carved pumpkin's a little bit too orangey. But ripe persimmon, spiced marmalade. Yeah. So I've got those two. This pink is most definitely spun sugar. Festive berries maybe? I don't know. That might be a little too pinkish. Got to look at all my colors again. It's kind of like a rosy red. You know what? I might go with candied apple. Even though it's not quite the same vibe. Like there isn't, that's almost like this color, but there's not really like a rosy pink. You know, there's like picked raspberry, but it's not quite right. You know? That one's definitely spun sugar. So let me get my spun sugar. I might have to do re-inkers on these because I haven't used my my oxides in a bit. And then this one, oh gosh. Oh, dried marigold. Yeah, dried marigold might be nice too. You know, you really can't go wrong with any of these. Ooh, dried marigold might be too pale. Yeah, I think I'm going to go stick with spiced marmalade. This purple, I guess Seedless Preserves is the closest, right? I think I'll just do Seedless Preserves. I mean, it's one of my favorites. You can't really go wrong with it. But I could also see, because it's going to be on a dark cardstock, I could also see, instead of Seedless Preserves, I could really go Villainous Potion. And I think it would work. You know? Huh. And now I'm wondering where my Villainous Potion is. Oh, there it is. I think we could really go Villainous Potion. Because it's going to be on the dark surface. You know what I'm saying? You know, just for vibes, I'm kind of thinking... And then some of you were saying picked raspberry, and I kind of agree. For more of that pink color. But abandoned coral is also a little bit more orangey. So what if we did this? That picked raspberry is really throwing me off. I feel like that should replace the spun sugar, although I really do like that pale pink. Lumberjack plaid. I haven't even considered that one. Let me see. I gotta find it. Ooh, Kitsch Flamingo. That might even be better. And lumberjack plaid. You guys are totally right. You know, look at this. My lumberjack plaid is still in plastic. And I'm thinking we should do Kitsch Flamingo because it's not gonna look super... Okay, there we go. I think that's much more the vibe. Yeah. All right, I think that is our color combo. Because the ripe persimmon was looking just a little too, I mean, I thought it was a little too close to spice marmalade, but I think it's going to be just fine. I think it'll be okay. Okay. Now I need to grab my blending tools for each one of those colors. Ooh, and I don't have some for some of these because they were brand new. Okay. I'm not sure what that one is. Oh, that one's going to be replaced. You know what? I might just have to do all new little foam tools for these. I might. Yeah, let's do all new foam tools. All right, I'm gonna put my color cube off to the side. And we need, we'll put these up here. We're not going to use the stamp set for now. I'm just going to be doing some ink blending. I don't know about fossilized amber. I think that might be a little bit too yellow. I don't know. Let's consider it. It's very mustardy. It's much more yellow. I don't know. I'm kind of, I mean, this one's being very orange instead of like this like reddy color. So maybe doing the yellow would be better. I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm gonna do fossilized amber for a yellow shade. I'm just making an executive decision. Right? Okay. All right, so here is my grip mat from Altenew. And I've got my black cardstock here. This is from Hero Arts. So in the Thankful Leaves bundle, we have a stencil set. And the stencil set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be basically recreating this card, but with oxides on black. I think it'll look really, really cool. So I'm kind of thinking maybe before we do any of the oxides or anything, maybe let's, I was going to say stamp our greeting and emboss it, but maybe we won't. Actually, we will. Let's, because it's based on this card, so I can kind of plan where it's going to be, right? So let's do that stamping first, actually. Just going to get out my Misty. And we'll do the stamping first. Okay. I can put this card kind of like right next to this right here. Actually, you know what I can do? I can put this one in right there. And then I can put the stamp in the exact same spot. Why not? All right, we'll do the, should we change up our grading this time? Thanks so much. Autumn gradings. Thankful for you. Let's change it up. We'll do thankful for you. So I guess technically I don't have to have it in the exact same spot. So basically what I'll do is I'll just move the stencil so it's not touching the greeting. This does help me give, get an idea of exactly where I want it to be, which is kind of nice. All right, I'll use my anti-static powder tool. Lots of it, apparently. Totally exploded. And then I'll use my white pigment ink for the actual stamping. I am using Hero Arts Pitch Black cardstock. I'm really getting that inked up. It's a very dainty greeting, that font, so I'm just going to really gently tap my fingers and I'm going to stamp it a couple of times to make sure I get a really good impression. Yeah, I think that's going to be great. up. And I'm actually going to clean off my stamp first. Just using a baby wipe. Clean up that stamp. I mostly wanted to get that cleaned up so that when I do my white embossing powder, it's not going to stick to my grip mat. Kelly's asking about my membership here at YouTube. So you should on your screen somewhere, I don't know if it will say it if you're watching on a TV, but I know if you're on your desktop or on your mobile, you should see a join button somewhere. And if not, you can go into my video description and it says like join my membership and there's a link. And basically that's how you sign up for my membership here. And then once you're signed up, then you have access to all of my member videos. And there's a specific spot at my channel. I think it says members, and you can click on that. You can see all the member videos. And I think you can actually see the thumbnails for the videos even when you're not a member. You just can't watch them. So there we go. All right, I'm going to heat this up with my heat tool until it's smooth and melted. And get in the back, trying to prevent warping too much. Okay, cool this down. So in my membership, I've got 2 levels. I've got the $5 a month, which gives you access to 2 live streams that are just for members, plus a monthly Zoom call. I don't think I've updated the info here at YouTube to say you get the Zoom call, but you do. Using my microfiber towel just to wipe off any of that excess anti-static powder tool. I'm really using some elbow grease to really pick up all of that powder. It really does clean up like all but like 1% of the powder that gets left behind. The $10 a month, you get the 2 live streams and the Zoom call, plus you get a monthly mail art envelope video, including a special form to submit your address so that you have a higher chance of having your address chosen. In fact, I just filmed the August video today. I'm excited to share that with my premium members when it's ready. All right, so now I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. And of course, my storage pocket is stuck to my grip mat now. So that's fun. I'm going to go back and start the stenciling, and that's where the oxide inks are going to come into play. All right, so here we go. Here's our grip mat. Here we go. Stick that down. And I'll put the card, stick that down to my grip mat really well. And then since we're going to be doing this card, I actually only use 2 stencils. So there's this one that has the full leaf design. It includes the stems. And then there's this one that will add the details and the stems on top. Those are the 2 that I used. But also in the stencil set, you have this other one where it has the different leaves kind of isolated. So if you wanted to ink blend each leaf individually, you definitely could. That's really fun when you've stamped the big, huge stamp from the stamp set, then you can just line up the leaves. By the way, when you do that, if you're using the stamp with it, feel free to like move the leaves around on your stencil because you know it's a big clear stamp. It's going to kind of warp when you pull it off the sheet. So it's not always going to line up perfectly over everything. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we have our big leaf little spray of all the leaves or whatever. So I'm going to kind of position this over that around that Thankful for You. See if I can get as many leaves on here as possible. I think about like that's probably best. Or I can even pull it down a little bit. Yeah, just like that. All right. And I'll just have to come in with this other one and line up the stems and everything after, because it's kind of off. Okay, so now I've got to decide how I'm going to, how I want to do this gradient going all the way down. I'm kind of thinking maybe start with the pink up at the top and have it come down to the Villainous Potion. I'm thinking that might be the best course of action, but we'll see. So I'm starting with Kitsch Flamingo. Hi, Debbie. Yes, it's a paid membership. And you get special things per month, like those ones that I just mentioned. Okay, let's get some. Let's see, I need 5 little foams. And I've got a couple candles here that I can use. Oh, I've got one more here that I can also use. It'd be nice to have 5 handles, but I think I've only got 3 right here. I have a lot of foams. I don't have a lot of handles. Okay, so we'll start with Kitsch Flamingo. And I'm really going to do kind of like a pouncing motion, just because I want to get lots of ink on there. And I will most likely have to do a couple of layers. I'm just guessing. The colors aren't going to be as vibrant as, you know, if you were to put them on top of white. But you do get quite a bit of color if you're just patient and you really pounce the colors on. See, if I go to swipe it, it starts to take away color. So that's why I'm doing a pouncing motion. I will down here when I need to get it to blend a little bit, because we're going to have it blend into the fossilized amber, but we'll see. They're going to be very muted just because that's the nature of it, although I might come back and do, you know, more layers once I have all the colors on. Okay, so fossilized amber looks like it's fairly juiced up. Like maybe I'll just do a little blend, and then I'll come back in and do the pouncing. Oh yeah, it gets so much more color once you pounce. Now I'm thinking I probably got it too close to my greeting, but whatever. Now is not the time to decide that. Okay, so much more color. I mean, it's definitely not going to be super strong color like it would be on white cardstock, but we're just going to go with it. Okay, ripe persimmon. My ripe persimmon is not very juicy at the moment, I don't think. Yeah, it's not really showing up much. I'm going to grab my re-inker and we'll... Is the ripe persimmon the one I don't have a re-inker for? Oh no, I do. Okay. Okay. Let's get some ripe persimmon on here. Oh, whoa, hello. got really squeezed out. Have some ink. Get it to move a little bit. It is absorbing fairly quickly, so that does mean that it really needed to be re-inked. Oh yeah, look how much more ink I got there. Much more. Love that. So Andrea's describing what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do, which is go over it, let it dry, and then go over it again. In fact, I almost considered going over the leaves in white first, in a white pigment ink, and then go back over with the oxides. I think that's definitely another option you could try. Just to try to get it a little bit more colorful. I'm really trying to, okay, there we go. Getting it a little more blended in. Okay. So I might have to just hit this with my heat tool till it dries. Okay, I'm also tempted to just find 2 more handles that I can use. I just found one, a 4th. They're just randomly hanging out on my desk here. Okay, so coming up with lumberjack plaid. I think that's probably Kevin in the background that's meowing. Trying to get lots of lumberjack plaid on here. Maybe we'll just, yeah, the dark color hardly shows on the black, but that's okay. We will, I'm sure it will show a little bit. And going over with a second layer will help. Okay. All right, let's do Villainous Potion. And I'm looking around for another handle. I'm like, how do I not have 5? I guess it makes sense. Don't they sell them in packs of 2? So it sort of makes sense. I do have another one, but it has like distress glaze on it. All right, we will have Kitsch Flamingo and Villainous Potion share handles. Ooh, Villainous Potion might need a re-ink. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a re-inker. So I don't know if Molly said in the chat yet or not, but Molly was at my house yesterday and she met the kitties. All right, so Villainous Potion. Let that soak in, or not. It doesn't really want to soak in very much, does it? We'll just give it a minute. Andrea says, does anyone else have to have the printing on the front and back labels of Distress Ink go in the same direction when the lid is on, or is that only my thing? Oh no, I have it go on the same way. Okay, I'm just gonna pick up a little bit on the corner. Well, this is when I can pounce it when it's super, super wet. I mean, it does put down lots of ink, which is nice. I mean, a lot of ink. Like, I wonder if I should do that for the lumberjack plaid. I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. Let's do that. Lumberjack. And I'm also grabbing the Kitsch Flamingo. What else am I forgetting? Fossilized Amber. Where did that go? There we go. There's Fossilized Amber. So now I have all the re-inkers. So I can keep things. Okay. So let's do the lumberjack plaid first. Oh my word. Can I get it open? Please don't explode. There we go. Lumberjack plaid looks really orange in the bottle. Oh my word. It's all bent over. Is it gonna work? Good, I'm glad it works. Okay. So now I can pick up quite a bit more ink. Oh yeah. That's so much more red. Okay, I'm just getting that red on there. And then let's go back to the ripe persimmon, which I already did the re-inker, but not a ton. Okay. Then we'll do the fossilized amber, which we have not done the re-inker yet. So we'll shake this up. Oh, some people are watching from the beginning and they're not. Oh, we are definitely further in, honey. Okay, there's the fossilized amber. Oh, you can definitely see it on the fossilized amber. It helps that it's like the second layer as well, I think. Looks like the lumberjack plaid has dried back a little bit, so we'll have to come back and do another layer in a minute. All right, Kitsch Flamingo. I have to do the re-inker on this one. This one definitely needed the re-inker. It's soaking up right away. And I wish I had, you know what? I'm gonna have to do it. This one is my, oh, it's all goopy. It has my Distress microglaze on it. So I try to keep my dedicated foam on there all the time. Oh my word. Now it's like tearing it off. Well, whatever. I guess it's getting a new blending tool. New foam, I guess. Put the pink one on. Oh yeah. Lots more pink. And we'll just keep doing this in layers until we have the amount of coverage that we want. So let's go back to the Villainous Potion. Although I don't know that the Villainous Potion is going to get better than that. It's looking pretty good. And I don't want it to be so wet that it seeps under the stencil, you know? Lumberjack plaid. I think by doing the pouncing motion up and down, it's going to help it from kind of seeping underneath the edges of the stencil too much. Okay. Ripe persimmon, which I think we've lost quite a bit. I've also lost quite a bit of the fossilized amber, I think. And look how much the Kitsch Flamingo has like seeped into the black cardstock. That's crazy. We'll just keep doing layers until we get what we want. I really am loving these colors though. Okay, do we want to call it? Should we just call it and remove the stencil? I am going to have to hit it with a heat tool to help it dry. But just because it's pretty wet, but I think I'm going to call it. Hopefully it didn't seep under the edge of the stencil too much. Oh, this looks so cool. You guys can't even see it yet. That Villainous Potion really showed up. Look at this. That looks so cool. I mean, it's definitely not as bright as the original colors, but it looks really awesome. Okay, I'm gonna clean off this stencil. Just running it underwater will do it. Oxide inks come off stencils super easy. Okay, and then we need to decide what embossing paste we're gonna do. Like, do we want white so that it matches with the Thankful for You, or do we want to do gold so that it stands out a little bit? I've got both. I could do both. I'm kind of thinking maybe gold. I don't know though. I'm going to peel this up and clean off the grip mat. Okay. Get as much of that off as I can. Yeah, I'm thinking gold. Although like a white or a pearl would be really pretty too. Okay. Dry grip mat. Dry, please. There we go. Now it's getting dry. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I was going to hit this with my heat tool just to speed along the oxide drying. The purple looks amazing, and I wonder if it's just because it was so much ink. It really makes me wonder if I should put the stencil back on and do the other ones, but I mean, we'll just go with it. We'll just go with it. Okay. Oh, that purple's going to take 10 years to dry because it's so thick. That's okay. As it dries, the colors are becoming more vibrant. Yeah, is it just me or are the colors getting more vibrant? T. Wilson, this is the Thankful Leaves bundle that came out in my release over the weekend. Okay, just want to make sure it's not like super wet in any other spots. I think we're good. Okay. So now I have my other stencil, and I just got to figure out what direction is this. Okay. I think, oh no, I can't see the leaves. Dang it. Okay, I can sort of see where to line them up. Okay, there we go. I can see the stems. Okay. I'm lining them up on the stems because that's the only thing I can go off of. Okay, I think that's good. I could have put like the corners here, but I didn't. I just didn't even think about it. I thought I'd be able to see the leaves. Okay, so, okay, we could do white or I have gold. White would match the heat embossing. I wasn't even thinking I was going to do the heat embossing of the sentiment in gold so that I could do this gold, just like the original card does. You know, I've got like the gold embossed greeting with the gold stems. I'm kind of thinking white. So I have Altenew embossing paste. If I can get the little rubber thing off. Cheryl, go to the video description and there should be a join my membership and then it's a link. Now you guys are saying gold, but I'm kind of thinking white. I don't know. All right, I'll do gold. If it looks funny, it's all your fault. I've got to put my little rubber band back on. I believe it was Sika that gave me this rubber band to put on my embossing paste. And so far it's held up pretty well. All right, so this is gold stencil paste from Lawn Fawn. And it's getting kind of thick, but that's okay. Oh, and I just had a bunch drop out. Now people are saying white or silver. Well, I don't know that I have a silver, but now people are saying white. All right. We're going with gold. It's too late to turn back now. Try to get this lid on really tight. Then I can use my baby wipe on my palette knife the best I can. And then carefully pull this up, and hopefully it doesn't pull up from the cardstock at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can do that, like it started to do that right there. Dang it, go back down. Oh, it's mixing with the purple, dang it. The inks are not dry. What is happening? Oh, it's not that bad. We're okay. Oh, actually, it is kind of bad. I think this paste is a little too dry. I may have also not pulled it off fast enough. You know, like it's drying in the stencil. Oh my word, this is terrible. Oh, this does not look good, y'all. The gold was a mistake. The gold was a mistake. I should have gone with the white. You know what though? Sometimes this is just how it is. You do a card and it messes it up, you know? Now this makes me want to do the design on white cardstock and not do it in oxides. Hold on, I have to scrub this stencil because it has embossing paste everywhere. Okay, well, okay. Let it dry and go over it again? I don't know, y'all. Oh, please don't say I ruined my knife because I didn't clean it off soon enough. I've ruined more than one palette knife in that way. I also need to get this up off my grip mat. Y'all, it looks real bad. I mean, look at this. It's all like poking up. And I can like pick it off. It's real bad. I think, and I think I knew this, which is why my first instinct was saying that the ink was too wet, because I did a trial run of this first card and some of the gold paste pulled up like this one. And I think it was because the ink underneath was not dry. So the embossing paste didn't have anything to stick to. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, I think this is a bust. So, yeah, we're an hour in. Yeah, this looks terrible. Look at this. I can like, I mean, I guess I could try flaking it off, because it is so dry. And then I could put the white over top. Hold on. We'll see if I can salvage this. Oh, now it's picking up the paper. Yeah, that's not gonna look any good. Oh, yikes. I mean, it looks really good, like right here and right here. It looks like it's a thinner application, so maybe I just need to get it lots thinner. Oh dear. Okay, well, that just makes me sad looking at it. So we're not going to look at it anymore. It now lives in my trash can. Okay, so pivoting. What am I doing? I'm going to, I think we're just going to do it in white. We're going to recreate this card just on white. And I don't know what we're going to do for the embossing paste on top. Let it dry? I don't know. I guess just let it dry. All right. Grabbing 5x7 cardstock. Oh, I've got like a white dot right there, so I'm going to flip it over. There we go. And I just happen to have another set of stencils right here because my other ones are drying. So I'm glad I have a second set of stencils. So I'm going to break those out. Okay. All right. We'll just put this right across. I'm thinking like this. Lovely. And we'll go back to those oxide inks again, starting with Kitsch Flamingo. And this time I can just kind of blend them on a little bit because they should go on fairly easy. Yeah, and we'll get the color a whole lot better this time around because it's not on the dark surface. It'll be a thinner application of ink, so it should dry faster, which is good. I think it'll be better all around. Really getting those colors to kind of blend. I'm also going to bring a little bit of this fossilized amber down a little bit so it can blend into the ripe persimmon. I gotta be careful. Gentle blending, Christina, gentle. Because the little sharp edges of the stencil are grabbing my foam tool. I don't feel like I can get as right up next to the edge on the stencil using the foam tool versus a brush, which is interesting. I don't think I've done a foam tool with a stencil and I don't even know how long. I've always just been using brushes. So I feel like that's kind of an interesting observation. I did not leave enough space for Lumberjack Plaid and Villainous Potion, so we'll see how that goes. I think we're gonna blend Lumberjack Plaid quite a bit into that ripe persimmon. Ooh, that's a really pretty color though. And you know what, just because I'm getting really close to those edges and up here too, I'm just gonna cover those up because then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'm just trying to really get that Lumberjack Plaid over into that. And then we'll just have a little hint of Villainous Potion here at the end, I think. And Villainous Potion is still very juicy, like it's hardly absorbed. So I'm going to take some scratch paper. Just tearing off a piece, and I'm just going to pull up some of that ink. That's just way too much. Okay. I have a feeling it's still going to be way too wet to do the embossing paste on top, because my Villainous Potion is just so juicy since I re-inked it. I do like how it blends into that Lumberjack Plaid though. I just wish I had a little more, like I wish I wouldn't have blended so much of the fossilized amber, but whatever. Okay, let's peel this up. hopefully I will have gotten all the stems. Oh, I've got a little bit of that kind of coming out right there. I can fix that with a white gel pen though. I like that. I think that looks much more like the, look at that. Much more like the color palette that we're going for. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my water from the sink. Clean all that off. And then do I dare do embossing paste? I don't know. I'm gonna have to dry the ink no matter what I do. So, and it will definitely dry faster because there won't be so many layers. All right, let me clean up my grip mat here. Okay, while the grip mat dries, let's dry this. You know what? People are having questions about the oxide reactivating, so let's just do a test run. The Villainous Potion was the one that was the most juicy, so let's put this out. In fact, I probably should even add a little bit more because I was pouncing on top. I think it might, but I don't think it'd be the end of the world if it brought up a little bit of color that's underneath. I think it would look kind of cool. But I don't think I'm going to do white on top of this because it's on the white cardstock. So I'm going to be doing the gold. So I'm going to test this with the gold. Okay, I also have Simon Hurley Lunar Paste in Gold Rush, which I think it's a little, I don't know. I don't think it's quite as wet as the Lawn Fawn Gold, even though this one is a little more dry. So I'm almost thinking that might work better, but I could be wrong. Okay, so yeah, that's, well, I don't know. Is it dry? Yeah, I think it is. I think that purple's left from the previous card. So I need a stencil with really thin lines to test. I guess I can just dry the other one and we'll use a portion of it. I left it just by my sink drying. Why will this stencil not dry? Is my towel not working? Okay. All right, it's dry enough now. And we'll just do a little test run. Okay. You know what? I'm also thinking this is taking way too long to pull up. So I think it would be safer just to do a little of this. You know what I mean? Okay. We'll just do this little guy right here. In fact, maybe we'll do him up here, and then we'll do another one down here in the other gold. So we'll have both golds. Okay, so a little bit of the Simon Hurley. I feel like that's much easier to use at the moment because it's not as dry as my Lawn Fawn. And then come in with the Lawn Fawn right here, and we just lift up. See, it's beautiful if you pull up right away. So I'm thinking I've just got to work fast. Yeah, and I kind of like the more yellow gold of the Lawn Fawn, so I'm not giving up on it. I think I still want to do the yellow gold. I think it's just a matter of the ink underneath not being fully dry, because that worked great this last time. So, and I think also maybe not working fast enough. Like I need to work faster so that the paste doesn't have a chance to dry in the stencil. All right, cleaning off this other stencil. And I'll leave it to dry. And we'll use the second stencil set. We're going fast. Okay. We're going to move fast, and it's also going to be easier because this is going to be just taped down to my glass mat. Okay. Just tape that down. And then we have the other stencil set. Yeah, it really does feel dry now. Okay. And then this is going right here. Oh yeah, so much easier to line it up. Because the previous stencil that I did all the leaves, it has the stems on it. So as long as you can line up the stems over the top, you're all good. All right, get a little more tape. So I can get this lined up just right. Okay. My palette knife, get that cleaned off really well. Okay. And now we're going to work fast. No dilly-dallying. We're going fast. I'm going to switch palette knives actually, because I think this stuff down here is not as dry. Yeah, okay. We're going fast. I mean, not so fast that it's going to be ridiculous, but... Okay, we're going to do a little scrapey scrape to make sure we're golden. And then we pull up. Oh yeah, so much better, so much better. Yes! All right, I'm telling y'all, it's speed and making sure your ink's dry. So it's not the end of the world to do it on the black cardstock. It's just you got to work faster and you got to make sure it's dry. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me clean this off my work surface here. And I don't want that to go down on the wet thing, so I'll just put that right there. And then I'm gonna clean this off. I've got to go clean off my stencil before the paste dries. I think it was also I was grabbing the paste from the edge of the jar, which it was a little dry. And the stuff in the bottom of the jar that I was, I could access with that other palette knife, that one, like that paste was not as dry. Okay, much better. I feel much better about that. I think I saw Kathy Zielski pop in. Hey, Kathy. Okay. And then this is when I like to just run my fingers over these edges here where there's embossing paste. Okay, I think this totally matches the inspiration color palette more, right? I think it looks really good. All right, so we just need to add a greeting and then we will call it a day. I love how it took me an hour to do the first card and it wasn't even finished. And then this one comes together in 15 minutes. Cracks me up. All right, I'm just cleaning off my palette knife, making sure it's nice and clean. That stencil paste like really sticks on it. Okay, so let's do a grading really fast. Oh, Leanne is being a rule follower. She says I need the black. So the greeting should be in black. I guess I could. I was going to have the greeting be in gold again, but I'm okay with that, having it in black. That's easier than having to emboss, really. All right. Let me get out my Misty. And this paste is still drying, so I guess that's also a good thing about not doing the embossing, because I don't have to worry about the embossing paste or the embossing powder getting on top of the paste. But I do have to be careful here as I do my stamping. Okay. So, should we do that Thankful for You again? I think there's going to be plenty of room. Yeah, right there. Just like right there. Just making sure it's really straight. I'm trying anyway. I think that's straight. Straight enough. And I'll be using VersaFine Clair. And Nocturne. Oh, beautiful. I like finishing the card on a nice calm note. None of this awful card that I started with. But I do need to do a little bit of white gel pen just to fix that little area where the ink kind of blobbed out from under the stencil. And then we'll call it a card. And really, I mean, I can't adhere it to a card base until it's completely dry, the paste and everything. So we will end the card design tonight here, but I'll just have to put it on a card base to finish it off. Okay. Just bringing a little bit of that white pen in. Just to clean that area up a little bit. It sort of worked. Doing a couple layers of the white gel pen because the first layer kind of just pulled up the ink. Yeah, I like that better. All right. So there's the card for today. The original card, well, okay, first of all, here was my test run where I learned a little bit about the embossing paste not sticking. It was this one right here. And I realized that the embossing paste was pulling up right here, and it pulled up right here, and it just wasn't that great. And that's when I was like, okay, I think it really has to be really dry before you can do the embossing paste on top. So that's when I did my other card right here. You can see how like the similar colors, right? And so that's when I did this one, and this one worked beautifully. Like, look at that. The embossing paste looks phenomenal, like no issues whatsoever. And I have to go with this one that I love it. It turned out so great. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. So I've got like 3 different color palettes going here. All kind of different vibes. I don't know that I ever would have thought to put pink with like autumn colors, but it really works, right? Yes, Kathleen, this is a 5x7 card. Yeah, Kyra, it would be interesting to try the black again without so much, time constraints and stuff. I think if I was to do the black one again, I would do a layer of white pigment ink, let it dry, then do the oxides over the top. I'm also interested to see if you got your metallic watercolor paints thick enough, if you could apply them through the stencil. I think that could be really interesting too. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to do a quick spiel for those watching the edited replay tomorrow. And then I will close it up and maybe we'll just chat for just a few before saying goodbye for the night. Okay, so here we go. So here is the finished card. Well, not finished card because I've got to wait for it to dry and then I'll put it on a card base. But the card designed, basically. I'm glad I took a different direction and redid the card, not on black. I think it worked out really well. Here's the original card that I finished. And then here's a test run that I did when I was actually, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a test run that I did when I was testing my stencils. And I like how it turned out, but there were some issues with the embossing paste on top. And that's when I was thinking it's got to be because the ink underneath wasn't completely dry. So yeah, here we go. Anyway, I love how this turned out. I think I would love to do this again, maybe try it again on the black with a different method. I think it could be really interesting. But anyway, thanks for watching today. I will catch you all in another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's see here. Amy's saying, I think you need to try the JC technique with the stencil on black. What's his technique? What is he doing? Tracy's asking, what leaves do the dies cut out? They do not cut out any of these leaves because they were too large and there were too many leaves. So the dies, hold on, let me show you. The dies are actually these 3 leaf designs, but they're a little smaller than the ones on the stencils. So there you go. But they're still a good enough size that you can put them on a card. Like, let me show you. Where's that card? Here we go. Here's a card with the die cut leaves, and it's the same leaf shapes, and there's even some kind of like the stem detail lines are on the dies, so you can get like a really good leaf there. Okay. Black with Lisa Horton's interference ink. Ooh, that would be pretty. That'd be really pretty. Let's see here. He put the stencil paste on and thick on one side, then spread it with a paintbrush. Oh, so it applied the paste as a really thin layer. I see what you're saying. How do I store my strips of paper from my new strips die? Currently, I just have them in the same little storage pocket where I have the cardstock. But I think what I'm actually going to do is I have these little cello bags. Let me grab one. I have these little cello bags. They look like this. And I think I'm just going to, well, here are all the strips. All like 5 million of them. But you could put them like just a specific color. Let me get this out of the way because that paste is still drying. We'll get that out of the way, right? And then like maybe I'll just grab all the eggplant strips because those are easy to spot because they're a very distinct color. Get all the same color and then put them in the cello bag and then keep that with the cardstock pack. Does that make sense? So I'll just do this. Hold on, let me get all the eggplant out of here. I think that's probably all of them. Oh, nope, I'm seeing one more. Any other eggplant in here? Any more eggplant hiding? Okay, so then I'll take all the eggplant strips, put them in this little cello bag, and then I have my eggplant cardstock sleeve, this one right here. And what I'll do is I'll probably just put it in the back because I always pull cardstock and scraps from the front. So the strips will be on the back, this will be on the front, and then it's kept with the same cardstock color. I think that's what I'm going to do from here on out, just because I'm going to be cutting these strips as I need them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Andrea, me moving the hard one panel just saved you from a heart attack. Well, I'm going to bring it back, and you know what? It's probably nearly dry. Yeah, it's nearly dry. Oh, sorry, you can't even see me touching it. It's nearly dry. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, tailored expression. Probably, right? Sells plastic containers with dividers made for storing lots of strips. That's awesome. Will it store 7 1/4 inch strips? That's my only question, because I think my strips die is a little bit longer than other ones that are out there. Because I wanted it to cut for 5x7 cards. I'm gonna go look. I'm Googling. Let's see here. Tailored expressions. I'm going over there right now. All right, do they have like a, okay, shop. Oh my word, just let me go to it. Tools and supplies probably. Cleaning and storage maybe? I'm looking. Divided container. I'm looking. I'm looking in the chat to see if someone says if it was tailored expressions. I'm still looking. I'm not seeing. You know, I'm kind of thinking even if there is a divided container for strips, that I still will store them with the cardstock itself. Just because, I mean, how many inks are there in Concord Ninth? Like 60 inks or something? Simple storage for easy strips. Simple storage. No, it's simple strips. Okay, hold on. Simple storage for simple strips. Is that what it is? Oh, I see what it is. There's just a divider. Okay, wait. But it looks like the divider. Oh, hold on, I just lost it again. Where is it? Simple storage strips. Really? 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 Come on. It was showing up. Now Sika's sending me stuff. She's like, this is the exact item. Okay, hold on. Because I can't find it. Oh, so this is not it. That was not what I was looking at. Okay. Wait, what's the width on it? Where's the rest of the info? Hello? Where's your website? Okay, so they use it for their ink cubes or... Okay. Oh, here we go. Case measures 9 1/4 wide, 14 long. Okay, so it would accommodate, okay, 8 openings in the tray, each measuring approximately 8 inches long. Okay, so yeah, it would fit. So if you wanted to do a storage container like this, it would work. I think I still want them stored with the cardstock colors though. You know what I'm saying? I think I still want them with the cardstock colors. But I see how that could be appealing if you just want to like store it by just like generic color like reds, put all your reds in one spot. I could see that. But I think I still want them with the cardstock. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. You guys are so nice. You're like trying to give me all the links. Here's where they're at. What colors did I use on the inspo card? Which one? This one was plumberry, cayenne, honeycomb. Was it grasshopper? I think it was grasshopper. Grasshopper. No, avocado. Over here, ooh, this would be hard. Plumberry. Ooh. Brickyard, maybe? Brickyard, honeycomb, and parsley, I think. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm scrolling back. I think if you have, I'm still thinking about that storage container. I think if you have like a bunch of different cardstock brands and it doesn't matter if you know where they're at or where they're from, I think it would be a really good storage solution. But I don't know. Anyway, all right, I'm going to close up for the night. I've got to go have dinner. It's like 7:30. I'm starving. My husband's waiting to eat dinner as well, so I feel real bad that I'm making him wait. But thanks so much for joining me tonight, and technically doing like 2 cards tonight because the first one was a fail. But we learned a lot, right? Okay, so I have to remind you about mail call tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to say that when I was doing my little spiel for the edited replay. So maybe I'll do another spiel for the edited replay. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock is mail call. So I will see you back tomorrow at 2 o'clock for mail call, and we'll open the mail and we'll see what everyone created. I'm trying to remember what the theme was for July. Get well cards, I think. Yeah, I think it's get well cards. So I will see you all tomorrow at 2. And I'm going to do a quick spiel for those watching the edited replay. Here we go. So here is the finished card for tonight. I haven't put it on a card base yet because it's still drying, but basically this is the card. I really love how that turned out. Just a reminder that mail call is happening Tuesday at 2 p.m. When this edited replay goes up, it will be the day of, so probably in just a few hours. Please join me for mail call. We will open the mail for July, and the theme for July was get well cards. So we're going to look at a bunch of get well cards and see what everyone has created. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Okay. All right, so I will see you all tomorrow at 2 for mail call. Thanks for joining, everyone, and for all the tips on storage and all sorts of stuff. Thanks for joining me. Oh, and here's that color inspiration once again. Oh, I think it turned out so great. Those colors blended really well. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Thanks for joining, and I will see you all tomorrow for mail call.